right, good evening, JCI USA. My name is Heather Vardell. I am your National Membership Director. We are trying something new this evening with a YouTube Hangout discussion for membership for the month of September. First, I want to start by asking everyone who is joining us tonight to please type in the chat group their name and what chapter and state they're from. So I'll have Noelle start us off. If she could type that in, and everyone just go on and type in order as you can, please. All right, I have 11 people total watching, and only Noelle has typed in her information. So if everyone can just type in the chat group on the right-hand side of your computer. Okay, perfect. I see Vanessa from Illinois. Shelby from Montana. I know MVP Juanita is with us. Kelsey Ann from Montana. Trey Jenkins from South Carolina. MVP Juanita. All right, if you're new to YouTube and trying to figure out how it works, if you can see the chat over to the right, type in your name and what chapter and state you're from. That would be great. We're gonna go on and continue on with the video here. First, I want to start by thanking everyone for attending tonight's new and inventive way to have our membership call. Let's start with your needs as a chapter or state. Okay, and MVP Joe is with us as well. He just sent me a message. President Ross from Nebraska, perfect. MVP Joe. Okay, MVP Joe, if you're with us, you might not be able to type in the group since you said you don't have a Gmail account. So if you have any questions or want to share anything, just shoot me a text message and I will read it as well. So we will start with your membership needs and how membership is going for you this year. So what is working right now? And if everyone just type in the little group and I will read it out to everyone, that would be great. And I think everyone can see it, but I'll say it out loud since MVP Joe, it looks like can't read the messages. What have you found is working well so far this year in membership? Okay, so Noelle brings up a great point. Her chapter continues to personally reach out to prospects and ask them to coffee or something personal. Nothing too stressful at first or maybe like a stuffy meeting, but you want to do something light and low key. So that personal touch and reaching out and doing something like a Starbucks or a local coffee shop, just to kind of gauge their interest and what they're looking for out of an organization. I can tell you, dropping a ton of things to do or expectations on a prospect is not the way to go. Wanting them to feel connected and what they are interested in, learning more about them really is how you're going to get them engaged, finding out what they're interested in and their needs and wants. Looks like Billings chapter is doing a great job at getting new people to come to meetings, both from word of mouth and different forms of social media. We have a harder time getting them to join. Let's see here. Do a great job getting new people to come to meetings, both from word of mouth and different forms of social media, but you have a hard time getting them to join once they're at the meeting. Is that what you're saying? I think so. Getting members to join is really more about finding out what they're interested in and what they expect out of an organization and plug them into something that you already have going on. Oh, good. Joe Chandler is on now. Great. Welcome, MVP Joe. We are answering questions about how to get members to join once they attend a meeting. So we, first and foremost, you want to, all of these messages is great. Sorry. So they come to the meeting and you're talking to them about the events you have going on. And instead of talking to them about, say, the organization or the things that you have going on, talk to them about themselves, get to know them, ask them open-ended questions about what they're interested in and and then figure out how you can plug them into something you already have going on. I know filling them with a lot of to-dos or meetings or events can be a little overwhelming at times. So just gauging what their interest is and then plugging them into something you already have really is a great way of getting the initiative, and maybe not asking them to join immediately, which sounds very counterproductive, but just saying something along the lines of, oh, you're interested in this, we have this coming up, why don't you attend that? Have them come to a couple things before going in for the kill of actually joining. Keep the questions coming on the chatting. Y'all don't have to wait until I finish a question because there's a little bit of lag time in what I'm saying and when you're receiving it. So as you have questions, just keep them coming on the chat group and I will answer them as they come in. So we're talking about what's working for membership, what your needs are, anything that we can do as a national executive team to help you reach your goals. We're coming up on closeout soon. How can we help you finish strong ending 2016, moving into 2017? So we can just have a steady stream of chatting on the group text. Okay. President from Montana, we have found that making sure to let our members know it's only what they want to participate in. Absolutely. We are a come as you go or come when you need to organization, what you can come to, show up to. There's not any one specific thing that's required or not required so they don't feel overwhelmed. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And then State President's Coach Noelle, at what point do you ask them to join? I generally have them come into at least one business meeting and two fun events or socials, if you will, before I ask them to join and to get to know a couple other people. That's just what I found works for me and the members around here. But of course, different areas and different things. Some people show up knowing that they've done their research, they've done their homework, and they know they want to join, and that's half the battle, and that's great. But those that you can tell are a little on the fence, have them come to at least one business meeting so they see how our business meetings are ran, and a couple social events so that they see we also know how to have a good time. But definitely the key is to make them not feel overwhelmed because it can be overwhelming at times. Keep the questions coming and comments coming so that there's not a lag in our video and discussion. All right. So let's go. Do you find the buddy system works? Actually, I do find that the buddy system works in VP Joe. Partnering up with someone who is a mentor or maybe has done the leadership role in the local chapter, and having them assigned with a new member or even someone who, the buddy system also works for people who have joined and are looking to be a little bit more active, say on the board, but aren't ready to take a board position yet. Working with that person who is on the board to try to just kind of get a feel for what the job entails or what being on the board really entails. So absolutely the buddy system works either for new members or people who are looking to expand and join the this local chapter executive committee. Also, you can look into JCI Mentor. It's a new JCI program for how to mentor a member or a prospect. Absolutely. How's everyone liking the new database? Any issues? Okay, President Ross, Nebraska is wondering if we can have the pending renew column back on, let me start that back over. President Ross from Nebraska is wondering if we can have the pending renew column back on the membership database. We have 75% of our chapters that pay the final night. Without this column, we don't know who are unknowns. Okay. I agree with Ross. I was going to ask. Okay, absolutely. If the pending column is something that the majority wants back, I can certainly, I will certainly speak with Edie, Joel, and Sean in the morning. For paid stays, it's not as helpful. Okay, yeah, you're right, MVP Joe. The paid states is not as helpful. If the pending column is something that the majority wants back, I will, and y'all are not the first to say that, so I will definitely speak with Sean and Edie Joel about that in the morning. I will make myself a note right now. I was actually on a webinar with Sean last night and the Virginia JCs on the database, so I will certainly check into that. Okay. What else about the database? Do we like at least the speed of it, the capabilities of it, other than the lack of pending status? Okay, message loud and clear about the pending status. I will talk with them first thing in the morning. We can move on from that. So I will certainly add that. I will send an email tonight as soon as this webinar is over. Great. Yeah, this database is supposed to be a lot easier to navigate and a lot quicker. So the process, and but I want to touch on the prospects column for just a second. They do stay in the system from time to time. It is not just the pendings drop at the end of the quarter. So I will look into the pendings being added back in if that's something that the majority wants, and we can see how that looks for the next quarter. I don't know about adding it back in this quarter, but we can certainly look into adding it back in for the final quarter and moving forward. And looks like I really like that only issues we have found is how do we go back and get stats from the first half of the year. You can request that from ED Joel. The old database is still archived, so we have it. And he can get it for you, definitely. Yeah, the data is not gone at all. We still have we own the old database, and we have access to it. So any information you need, not even just from the first half of the year, we can go back and get it. How is everyone's membership plan going for the rest of 2016 and planning for 2017? No, anyone can renew members if they have the correct rights. Membership VP Trey. You just have to assign the rights within the chapters. You have to go in and physically add each local chapter president as edit add under the assign rights area for the chapter. So we'll go back to the membership plans. How's everyone's membership plan for 2016 and moving into 2017, planning ahead going? So Nebraska is minus 27 for the year with a goal of plus 50. So you have some work. Having work to do is never a bad thing. I definitely think that you can get there. What ideas do you have, President Ross, to help make up that difference? With the degrees, how come I don't get notified when an LP earns a degree. There was a little bit of issues with the passport program on the database. They all should be fixed, so you should be getting notifications. If you're not, send me an email offline and I will have it looked at for you. President Ross, I don't know if you saw SPC Noel's question. Are there any incentives that you can run for the last quarter to help you with your membership plan for 2016 moving into 2017? Or anybody, do you have ideas on how to make up some ground for the rest of the year and finishing strong? What are some incentives that you are looking at offering for the rest of the year? Or new ideas out of the box ideas to help with your membership plan? We have been doing challenges with benefits such as recruit 5 within 90 days and they receive a $50 reward. Well, that's pretty good incentive right there. $50, absolutely. Alex from Virginia, my general membership numbers aren't bad, but I'm struggling with getting people who are willing to step up into leadership roles. Yeah, stepping up into leadership roles is a bit of a challenge, especially for people who have the 4 VPs or more. I would look into having the 2 to 3 VPs, an internal and external, to try to help with not needing as many people on the board. It does unfortunately give those people a little bit more responsibility, but it also helps with not needing as many people. And it might also mean evaluating what all you're doing and if you're really capable of executing that plan due to lack of leadership. But also having some strong leadership training and having the director, right, I was just about to say, Noel, you're reading my mind. Instead of having full-blown people that are working each for the entire year, have directors that are only responsible for a quarter of the year for that specific role to help get them kind of used to being in a leadership role and what it means to serve on the board. Also, for any new leaders or anyone who is thinking about joining the board, coming to the local leadership training universities earlier in the year, it definitely can help you get some more information. Is there somewhere I can find? Yes, the USJC's website, jci.cc/USA, under the library, there are job descriptions for each of the local chapter roles. Absolutely. And I can also, if you send me an email, I can email them to you as well. I've actually had a lot of questions about the leadership roles and the job descriptions. So maybe we can take a look at the upcoming webinars and redo one and have the executive roles for a local chapter. I think it also helps to know who is great in certain areas and tell them how that specific area, and it would absolutely. Absolutely, President Ross. Knowing people's strengths and weaknesses, especially when starting out in the leadership role and putting them somewhere where they're comfortable, is the best idea. So doing like a small like colors of personality, or just something, just making sure that you know where they're comfortable serving, and putting them in that best in that way, or in that position. Absolutely. What do y'all think about the membership programs we have? So, Shoot for Success, Civic Leadership Certification, Passport to Civic Leadership. The programs we have. Are y'all finding that they're helpful? Are you like, what's some feedback about the programming that we offer on a national level to help you with membership? All right. It, okay, good. Here we go. It's really hard to engage members in Passport. Yeah, it can be. I know that a good way to really start engaging them early in Passport to Civic Leadership is when they first join. A lot of times they'll say, "Okay, so what do y'all do? What do we do?" I give them the first 3 degrees, and just make sure that this is what we do. So have them start out small with the first phase of the degree program, versus I'm not saying to not like make it optional, but when they say, hey, what is it that you do as a local chapter? Well, this is what we do. This is what we offer our members, and just have them start off on it. I didn't personally run that content, but I heard from predecessors that we never got much support feedback from Shoot for 50. Okay. If I can tell you that the Shoot for Success program is doing a lot better now, so I would try reaching out to the Shoot for Success program manager again and picking that back up. Passport is a great program. It helped tremendously this year getting people involved. Absolutely. If they are confused about what their expectations are or what we do as an organization, start everyone off with the first phase. And I know that kind of making it a friendly competition within your chapter, it would really take off from there. I don't know much about the national programs besides Passport to Civic Leadership. I like Passport to Civic Leadership, but I wish there were more incentives for it. Maybe we could come up with. Yeah, there used to be. There is a certificate on the USJC's page, and I mean I know it's a certificate, but I mean it does mean a lot to some people to just show that you've completed the degree, and you could recognize each degree on a local level for that. Need to find a better way to pass on the information. Absolutely. My home chapter president makes sure at the meeting to cheer on the milestone. Absolutely. NVP Joe, the local chapters cheerleading and announcing and sharing each degree really, really, really will help you grow the Passport to Civic Leadership program. It's really about that recognition on the local level and even on the state level if you can get there. I like that billing shows their members in a degree they've achieved. It's like very cheerleader, like absolutely on a local level and a state level. if you can pass out that certificate of completion and really cheer on the milestone of the degree, it will really help incentivize your members to participate and to keep going. So definitely that personal touch on the local level for the degree program will help a lot. Definitely. Other programs that people were talking about, the Shoot for Success program, there is one for new chapters, Shoot for 30, Shoot for 50, and Shoot for Beyond. So if you are in a rebuilding stage, the new chapter Shoot for Success program would be perfect for you. And then Shoot for 30 active members, and then 50 and beyond. So the goal is to help you get to that many active members throughout the year with a support system of the program manager. If you are not enrolled in the program, I can tell you that they are looking for other chapters to work with. They are being responsive, so please reach out to the program managers to help you with enroll in those programs. All right, so we will move on from the national program. So are there any other questions about the national programs before we move on, or thoughts about the national programs? Good. All right, so what are your needs from the national executive team? You have 6 MVPs, you have a slew of appointments and a national president. How can we help you through this final stretch? We have closeout coming up in 15 days, and yeah, I know. And what can we do to help you get to where you need to be? I know there are these long pauses, but I'm trying to wait for people to type and ask questions and answer so I can answer them, and they're not coming through as quickly as they're going through. Yes, JC Spotlight. So a shout out to the Tennessee JCs. They do their own spotlight within Tennessee, which is awesome. And then of course JCI USA does it every Friday. So that has been a huge success this year, and I encourage each one of you to continue to spotlight those JCs. I've heard from so many that were so excited that they were spotlighted on the national level that they didn't even they were not expecting it. So definitely take advantage of highlighting your members and what they're doing in your local chapters. This is also to kind of help wrap up the year strong and prep for bring in some new ideas for next year. So how has everyone liked having the webinars be different each month versus just a new member orientation? We tried really hard to bring something that was useful each month to you and tools to you versus the same webinar each month. For new member orientation, we recorded the new member orientation at the beginning of the year, and it's on the website, and it also goes out to each one of your new members when they join. So that was a kind of out-of-the-box idea that we are hoping you find valuable and want to continue that next year if you think that that's helpful. Also having this YouTube video conference call, if you will. So if this is something new and different versus a conference call. Okay, good. Like having a variety of things to learn about. Absolutely great. So we'll make sure to heard positives from the webinar. Good. I actually did a lot of the new member orientations last year, and we averaged 1 to 3 people. And this year we're averaging about 8 to 10. And right now we have 16 people watching live. So that's awesome. I think that's a pretty record-breaking event. So we're excited to try new things. What other ideas that we could do to help make your life easier as far as the tools and membership, not just necessarily working closeout, which is obviously extremely important, but what other tools can we bring to you at the local chapter level to help you get to where you want to be, making an impact, growing your membership, and growing the value of the organization is kind of where I want to spend the next 10 minutes talking about. So if you could please add in some topics there so that I can make sure that we get those to you the rest of this year and moving into, of course, next year. One idea that has been brought up is called Chapter in a Box, where each one of your local chapters and the state president will receive a virtual box, and it will have all of the tools you need to be a successful chapter. So we'll have the contact information for the program managers, an outline of each one of the programs, a calendar of events for the entire year, and just all of the tools and resources, a tutorial of the website, all of the tools and resources you would need as a local chapter brought to you in a virtual box in hopes that you could use that to be successful versus having to look through the website or emails to try to find everything. I'm computer illiterate, and I think this is a great addition for a membership call. Great, thank you. I was a little nervous. I too am computer illiterate, which is why you'll see that this started streaming about 30 minutes before the actual webinar was to begin, because I wanted to make sure we had no technical difficulties for you. Alex from Virginia, I know we have a library with PMGs and whatnot, but is there a way to find out what other chapters are finding to be successful recruitment? Yes, essentially, it's really just word of mouth. That's one thing that's very valuable to this organization. When people ask me what's the difference between us and a YP group, is you have a network of people across the country. Reach out to people, in your network and ask them, what's working. You can ask me, you can ask your NVP, you can ask anyone to help you get information about what's working. I know, Alex, you emailed me about a local chapter project of mine, the haunted house, and I put you in touch with our project chairman. And so that is a tool to help you and a value that this organization brings to hopefully bring more make your haunted house more successful, and your ideas help our haunted house more successful. So it's really all about just reaching out to people, sharing ideas on social media, or just calling people and asking them, hey, what's working? And if you want some specific people, we can definitely put you in touch with some people. Coming to the LTUs and coming to like the regional meetings around the country, the national conventions. Obviously, I know it's can get a little pricey, but I know Virginia is hosting a meeting in November, which will have people from other states attending. So absolutely, if you can make it to that, it would be a good chance. Just meeting as many people as you can and talking to them about what's working and what's not working. The LTUs definitely give you that as well. And of course, attending these, it just people have said a couple of things that are working for them. I know state presidents have a private Facebook. It may be beneficial for the national board member to create a Facebook for each area. Oh yeah, that makes total sense. There has been some thoughts about some different Facebook groups. I know that there were a couple Facebook groups made last year for the different LTUs and the people that attended, and of course those were for the people that attended. But definitely, yeah, we can look into looking at different Facebook groups for different regions. Back to Alex's thought that we have about a chat room or a closed Facebook for such topics. There are a couple groups on social media has taken over the world. Yes, it has. Social media definitely has taken over the world. There are a couple generic JC groups that you can join as well. I'll look into a few of them that I'm in and invite you to them, Alex, and you can definitely have a forum to ask questions and share ideas. So I'll look at the ones that I'm a member of and go on and try to add you into those as well. It's also really good for your state local presidents to have a group. I know my state and a few other states that I have visited, their local presidents have a private Facebook group and to bounce ideas off of and to talk about different things as well. So also utilize your state and the members there as well. You do have one in Virginia. Great. Okay. So what else can the national team do? I have so far looking at some regional Facebook groups, which is great. I know actually NVP Rhonda mentioned a Facebook group on our executive team group just the other day. So that is definitely something that I hear is being discussed around the country about different Facebook open forums, if you will. And I will, of course, pass that along as an idea to continue to develop. What else can we do? Do you feel like you have enough support on the ground level from your NVPs and your national officers to help you with the different things and that you have going on? Also, this is your roundtable discussion. So, any topics you want to talk about or discuss. I mean, y'all were talking about finding what other chapters are finding to be successful. This is one of those places where you can talk about that. That's the point of this live chat open forum for our members. So this is a time that where we would do that as well. So this is your time to chat and to talk about what's working, what's not working, what can we do to get to where we want to be at the end of the year. We have about 5 more minutes of discussion, and then at about 9:50, I want to end the discussion part, and I want everyone to talk about or to type in why, what makes them excited to be a JC, what motivates you to be a member of this amazing organization. So keep that in the back of your head for the next 5 minutes. But I'd like to open it up for any more discussion that you may have. If I see your messages come through about what motivates you to be a JC, then I will take that as you're ready to move on to the last topic at hand. So all right. Well, I am going to tell you what motivates me, since I don't see any topics of discussion coming through. What motivates me are all of you, allowing me to serve as your national membership director. And at a later time, can you share how you set up this webinar tonight? Yes, President Ross, I will send you that information. Also, I can tell you that this specific webinar is not the most user-friendly. We actually own a GoToWebinars, which I've heard is a little bit more user-friendly. I will send you both, and you can determine which one you think is the more user-friendly for you. I enjoy being the JC for many reasons, helping people in my community and meeting new people from around the world. That is one thing that motivates me. But I was saying that serving as your national membership director has motivated me, and meeting all of you and coming up with these new and inventive ways of reaching our members has been very inspiring this year. It has also brought me out of my comfort zone with the technology, which is great. I think being brought out of your comfort zone at times is new and fun and exciting. So it's been a great journey serving as your national membership director, and we are not done yet. We have 2 weeks until our third closeout before moving into fourth quarter. So anything that I can do to help you reach your membership goals for this year, I will certainly do everything in my power to help you get there. Reach out to me personally, and I will help you in any way. And I will certainly get you the information about tonight's webinar, President Ross, on how I set it up. And I'll also get you information about GoToWebinars, which I find a little bit easier. And you can decide which one works best for you and your team. What else motivates y'all? I see 13 people watching, and only one person has shared. And then, of course, myself. So 2 of us have shared. So what motivates you as a JC? I know we have 2 national vice presidents on tonight, so I'm sure they're both highly motivated and have some good wisdom to share with us on what motivates them, so they can share with us as well. We have about about 10 more minutes, and I know there's a little lag time with the video versus when I am talking. It's actually really funny to see myself on the screen talking about 30 seconds after I say something. All right. Well, if um, if there's nobody else that wants to share or any other topics of discussion, I will. We can conclude tonight's webinar. Vanessa, what motivates me is to see JCs growing and the ability of regular people like me who are making a difference in their community. Oh, Vanessa, you're one of my favorite. I so enjoyed visiting with you last year. Alex, I've enjoyed and I'm excited about being able to choose and guide how I can impact my community. Absolutely. Visiting your chapter last year was awesome. I'm excited to hear how your haunted house goes this year. My motivation is to pass on things I have learned through many years and will age out in March. Ross, you can become one of our mentors that we were talking about earlier. Look into the mentoring program for the Nebraska JCs. They are lucky to have you. Yes, the LTUs and the summit, the bigger picture. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, the bigger picture is something that inspires me as well. So if you get a chance to attend the summit next year, either the JCI USA summit or the JCI summit in New York, seeing the big picture and how we help people on a global scale is truly, truly inspiring. So anytime you can go to a national or international event, I highly, highly encourage you to do so. Absolutely. All right. Well, we will conclude tonight's webinar slash membership call. I don't really know what this is called, but we will end tonight's call. And I am excited to see all of you next week in Detroit. If you need anything between now and closeout, please reach out to me, your MVP, or any other national exec team member. We are here to help you in any possible way we can. Thank y'all so much for joining us. I think we had a record-breaking attendance for our first time, and we will certainly be looking into using this tool in the coming months and next year for our membership costs. Thank y'all so much for attending, and we will see and talk to you